What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Season 11, Episode 10, Where Did Our Love Go? Let's get started with Juan and Jessica. So when we see Juan and Jessica, we see Juan is at home with the two younger boys, the baby and the middle child. And I think the middle son is sick and he stayed home from school. So we're seeing Juan struggling, taking care of these two kids. He doesn't know how to make mac and cheese. The little boy has to call his mom and tell his mom, Juan doesn't know how to make any mac and cheese. Can you please bring me home a pizza? The baby's crying. So he's struggling. So when Jessica finally comes home, he basically tells her how he's not used to any of this because he's used to being a provider, going to work every day and making money. And so Jessica's like, I don't know what to tell you because he cannot work right now until his papers are, come through. So Jessica's like, I don't know what to tell you, Juan. This is what you're going to have to do until, you're able to work. So suck it up, buttercup. So she was like, I've been doing this by myself with 3 children for the past 6 months. You'll be fine. So later on that night, they go bowling. And y'all, guess who's back? Megan, the weirdo, is back. Megan is the friend of Jessica who is really struggling with Juan and Jessica's relationship. And she feels like that she's in the position to interrogate Juan and to make Juan feel guilty about him cheating and to not let him off the hook. She thinks that this is her job. This is what she was put on earth to do, was to make Juan feel as small as possible and as guilty as possible for cheating on Jessica, even though everybody has moved on from this cheating situation, including Jessica. So they're at the bowling alley and we get to see Megan's husband. Y'all, when I saw Megan's husband, because I thought I watched every single season of 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise. I must have missed this season. I have no idea how I could have missed the season where Juan and Jessica and Megan were on. But I did not know that Megan was married and has a whole husband, because the way she's into Jessica's business, and I'm pretty sure people will say, well, it's just edited to look like that. Like she's really into their business, but she's not. Whatever. The way she's really into Jessica's business, I would have thought this woman was single and had nothing going on, had no career, no job, no pets, no husband, no nothing. The way she's so obsessed with Juan and Jessica, but she's got a whole entire husband. And I'm like trying to figure out, girl, if you have your own relationship, how do you find the time and the energy to be so invested in what Juan is doing? I don't understand that. So at the bowling alley, y'all, they barely started even bowling before Megan gets into Juan again. So she starts off by saying, so Juan, how have you been showing Jessica that she can trust you again? It's like, how are the kids? There's no how are the kids. There's no how are you liking wherever the hell they're, Wyoming. Like, have you picked up any interesting hobbies? What's it like staying home with the baby? Nothing. Just straight into, what have you done to make Jessica trust you again? And to make Jessica trust you again. And I was just like, he says, obviously, he says, well, I have left everything behind. I left my whole life behind. I left my country behind to come here and to be with her. If that doesn't prove that I'm serious about this relationship, I don't know what the hell does. So then he gets upset because Megan tells him, well, I just don't know. She might trust you, but I'm not 100% there yet. Obviously, you want to ask the question, who the hell are you? This is not a throuple. This is not a polyamorous relationship. You have your own man that you're completely ignoring because you're so invested in Juan. Like, you're not 100% where. It doesn't matter where you are or where you're not. You're not in this relationship. Jessica is 100% there. Juan is 100% there. Where you're at, it has no effect on anybody or on anything. So Juan shuts it all the way down, and he tells her, look, I don't want to talk about this because it's really none of your business. This is strictly between me and Jessica. So then she proceeds to tell him that if you do anything to hurt Jessica, I will ruin your life. How? How are you going to ruin his life? What are you going to do? Run over him with a car and maim him? What are you going to do to ruin Juan's life if he ends up cheating on Jessica again? What are you going to do, girl? What are you going to do? If I was Juan, I would want to know the details. Like, Draw me a picture, a graph, or something. How are you going to ruin my life if I cheat on Jess? I really want to know, how are you going to do this? Like, what power does she have to ruin anybody's life? And I'm telling you, y'all, she has an entire husband that she was completely ignoring because she's so interested in Juan. So, the only thing that I can think of, I really do think that she's got the hots for Juan. She really must have the hots for Juan. It's almost as if she's trying to test and see if Juan is good enough for her. Like, forget about, is he good enough for Jessica? Is he good enough for her? What does Juan have to do to get Megan 100% there? Because I mean, no shade to her husband, but it seems like, deep down inside, Megan might want a little spice in her life. And, whenever she looks into Juan's hazel eyes, she's just like gets sunken into him or something. I think this woman has the hots for Juan. Either she's got the hots for Juan, or she really, 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 really doesn't want Jessica to be happy and is constantly trying to bring up this whole cheating situation because she wants to remind Jessica, this man cheated on you. He cheated on you. He cheated on you. He cheated on you. Like, I don't get it. Are you jealous of Jessica because she's with Juan? I don't understand what's going on with Megan. As a friend, there is no way in hell I would do that. If my friend says she's cool with it, then I'm cool with it. It doesn't matter how bad it was, unless you are physically or emotionally or mentally abusing my friend. Okay, if you're an abusive person, I'm going to have to try to get my friend out of that situation. But if it's some regular couple stuff, he cheated, but girl, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. There's nothing else I can do about that, even though some people might say that cheating is some type of abuse. But girl, if you're cool with him being with other women, then I'm cool with him being with other women. I got nothing to say about that because it's none of my business. I'm just here to support my friend and make sure that my friend is good. If she says she's good, then drop it, Megan. If Jessica has it is so weird because Jessica and Juan are happy. They're bowling. They're trying to have a good time. And Megan is a Debbie Downer who wants to bring up the past and who wants to put Juan in the hot seat as if Juan is her dude. But let's move on, because I'm trying to talk about Megan the weirdo. Moving on from there, let's talk about Joan and Greg. So Greg goes for a job interview. It's not the state job that he talked about in last week's episode. It's a real estate job, some type of a real estate job where he's going to be like helping, I don't know, fixing houses or something. So while he's away on his interview, Joan and her soon-to-be mother-in-law are left at home by themselves. And so the mother-in-law talks about how she says, Joan, I want us to do a project. And I thought they were going to like build something or do some DIY around the house or something. She brings out a basket full of socks, a laundry basket full of socks that she wants them to match up. I wouldn't consider that a project. That's just doing laundry, but whatever. So the mother-in-law tells us that, so far she's okay with Joan being there because Joan has been helping out around the house quite a bit. So she's cool with Joan until Joan brings up that she wants her mother-in-law out of the house. She basically tells her, I need you to go out more because me and Greg, we need more privacy. So I want you to be away from the house more. And of course, the mother-in-law is like shocked about this. She's like, what the hell? What? This is my damn house. I pay the bills around here. Who are you to tell me that I need to be gone more? She didn't say that, but that's what she was thinking. So she was like, oh, really? But in her mind, she was like, you know what? As soon as my son gets home, I'm going to address this to my son so that he can address this to her. And sure enough, when Greg came home, his mom tells him, this is what your fiance told me today, that she wants me to be gone more so that y'all can have more privacy. She's telling me that I need to be away from my own house, the house that I pay for. Okay, I'm doing y'all a favor by allowing y'all to stay here in my house where y'all don't really help out with a damn thing. She's telling me I need to be away from my house more so that y'all can have privacy. So, of course, Greg has to go address this to Joan, and he talks to Joan about it. And Joan says, well, I just wanted to see her reaction. I was just testing her. And I was like, Joan, what? This whole entire scene to me seems to be concocted by production. Joan does not seem like the kind of person who would say this to her soon-to-be mother-in-law. I just don't see her being that disrespectful. When she even said it, I felt like she was struggling to get the words out because this is not how she talks. This is not how she is. I seriously, truly doubt that this was a genuine moment. This was, to me, scripted and concocted by production, because I know that they probably want to see a lot of friction between the mother and the daughter-in-law. They want to see a lot of friction between them because that makes for good TV. They want to see them have problems. And in reality, they probably get along just fine. So I just don't buy that Joan really say something like this. But if this is how she is, if she really meant what she said and she wasn't told to say this by production, then Joan, you were completely in the wrong. You cannot tell the owner of the home there need to be a way more for you and her wayward son to have more privacy. That's absolutely ridiculous. If this is a real moment, if this was really how Joan really felt, then Joan, the issue is not with the mother-in-law being home too much. The issue is with Greg now providing you your own home in some form or fashion. It didn't have to be a full 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. It could have been an efficiency apartment. It could have been a garage apartment. It could have been a whatever. It could have been a shack. Just something for y'all to have your own space. The problem is Greg, not his mother. His mother is doing y'all a favor by allowing y'all to stay there. She doesn't have to do that because Greg is a grown man. Okay, how old is he? Damn near 50 or something. He's a grown man. He should have made sure that when you came to the United States that he had a home for you. But like I said, I don't think it was a genuine moment. I think it was concocted by production. Moving on to Matt, Ammani, and Anie. So Anie has to go back on the pole. Okay, she's got to get back on the pole. She's got to make money. She's got to get back to work. So they take her to back to her house. They meet her daughter. What's her name? They meet her little girl, and they bring her. Matt and Ammani bring gifts to Anie's daughter, and they leave her there, and then they go back to their own little Airbnb. Now, one of the issues that came up was that Ammani feels uncomfortable that men are providing for Anie and her daughter. So I don't know if these were customers or ex-boyfriends, but there are men in Anie's life that are continuously buying gifts and stuff for her child. I don't know if they're giving her money. I don't know if they're taking care of her financially. I don't know. But there are still men in her life that are gifting stuff to her child. And so Ammani does not feel comfortable about this. She's very jealous about this because she doesn't want anybody around Anie. She wants Anie completely to herself, just for her and Matt. And she's also having an issue with Anie still working at the strip club because she's jealous. She doesn't want people ogling her girlfriend. So they let her know this. They let her know, hey, we don't feel comfortable with, these men bringing gifts to your child, and it shows that you're not really serious about us. And once again, Anie is like, hey, it's not a big deal. They just bring presents for my daughter. That's it. I think it's more than that. I think these men are giving her money. I think that they are providing some type of financial support to her. It's not just bringing My Little Pony to her daughter. It's like they're providing for her. That's what I believe. Come on now. Seriously. What man is just going to be coming around and just to drop off gifts for your child? Obviously, number one, that would be weird. Okay. Number two, that doesn't make any sense. These men are still providing, they're taking care of Anie financially. They're taking care of her. I don't know if she's doing things for them, but they're definitely taking care of her in some form or fashion. She's a beautiful woman, very confident, very poised. I can definitely see customers growing an attachment to her and wanting to constantly be around her and take care of her for a little bit of her time. So after they drop her off, another thing before I forget, this is what I get for not sticking to my notes. They talked to her about, did you tell your daughter about us? And Anie was like, no, my daughter's too young to understand what this is. And Ammani tells her, well, we told our oldest daughter, who's the same age as your daughter, we've told her that you're very special to us, that you're going to become part of our family. They don't understand throuple, polyamory, a girlfriend from mom and dad or a wife from mom. They don't get that, but they do understand that you're special to us and that you're going to be joining our family, that we care for you and you care for us. So they're excited to see you. Our kids are excited to meet you. And so they're upset that Anie has not told her daughter about this whole entire situation. And Anie was just like, I think it's ridiculous for you to think that I would have told my daughter about this. So after that, Ammani and Matt go back to their Airbnb, and Ammani takes this opportunity to tell Matt that when her and Anie had that big blowout at the winery, Anie had confided in her that she's only in this relationship for her and not so much for Matt. Matt was confused because Matt was like, yeah, in his confessional, he was telling us, yeah, that doesn't really make any sense that Anie would tell her that she's only here for her and not for me, because you can tell that Matt and Anie like each other. Okay. It was obvious to me that there was some type of chemistry or some type of connection between Matt and Anie. And needless to say, their very first night in Mexico, Matt and Anie couldn't wait to get it on while Ammani was passed out sick somewhere. Okay, Ammani is sick, not feeling well at all, and they're like, well, forget her, let's do our own thing, let's get to know each other better right here, right now. They weren't like, oh, let's lay down with her and rub her back and hopefully she'll feel. No, they're like, okay, the girl's sick, okay, she's over there passed out sick or whatever that was going on Benadryl, knocked out, let's me and you get to know each other better. So Matt is like, I'm pretty sure she only said that to Ammani just to kind of calm her down, to appease her. I don't think she really meant that. I know that woman is into me. I could tell that woman is into me. So Matt is confused. So then he tells his wife, you know what? Look, if that's what she told you and if that's what it is, then I don't know how we're going to move forward with this. I'm going to need time. I'm going to need time to process all of this. And he says, tomorrow, I ain't going nowhere with y'all. I'm going to stay home because I need time to think about this whole entire situation. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Because I was like, why are you in a throuple? If this is true that that Anie is into Anie, no, if this is true that Anie is into the wife more than she is into the husband, why are you in this throuple? Why are you in a throuple then? I thought a throuple meant everything was equal. Y'all were all getting down and dirty equally. Like y'all were all into each other equally. Okay, I'm very confused. Very confused. And you had no problem having sex with Matt. So I'm really beginning to think that, no, I'm not beginning to think, I've always thought that Anie only said that to Ammani just to calm her down and to shut her up, because Ammani was really out of control at the winery. And she probably told her that just to calm her down. But I think that she's really into Matt. She even told her family that Matt was her boyfriend and Ammani was just a friend. Get out of here. Come on now. That doesn't make any sense to me. My next couple is... let's talk about Shakina and Sarper. Okay, Shakina and Sarper. So they're in Montana, which is where Shakina grew up. And she talks about her upbringing, kind of like Little House on the Prairie. Very, I don't know what you call that kind of lifestyle. They're living out there on the land. They didn't have electricity. They had to use a generator to get power. I don't know if they had outhouses. I mean, she makes it sound like it was very much Little House on the Prairie type of lifestyle. So no wonder Shakina and her sisters have grown up to become the women that they've become, kind of like really rebelling against that lifestyle, because they, her sisters are tattooed out, cleavage for days, upper cleavage, lower cleavage, side cleavage. I mean, it's a lot going on with her sisters. So Sarper and Shakina are in Montana so that Sarper can have an opportunity to meet two of her sisters. He's already met Shariah, and that did not go well. So he's going to try to redeem himself with Shariah and also meet her two other sisters. It is a total of 6 girls in that family. So they go to the little restaurant that they're all going to be meeting, and they sit down, and y'all, the meeting went horribly. meeting was bad. It was really bad. I don't know if Shakina did not school him or train him properly or rehearse with him properly before meeting the sisters. And so she was just going to let him, she was just going to send him out there in the wild and let him, I don't know. I don't understand why Shakina did not train Sarper to say the proper things around her family, because he compared her to a geisha. Okay. Basically saying that, she serves me. And like the way a geisha serves, their gentleman clients. Hand and foot, always there to do whatever she needs to do for him. He also said that he wants the old Shakina back because the old Shakina was more obedient. He said all the wrong things that could possibly be said, and the sisters were not having it. They didn't like it. They talked about him talking to other women, and he said that I don't talk to other women because she's very possessive and territorial. So I do not talk to other women. If they DM me, I just ignore it. And then they asked Shakina, do you believe him? And she was like, yes, I believe him. And they're like, okay, you're just going to believe him based on what he's telling you, based on his word, that he's not talking to other women or not responding to other females in the DMs. And she's like, well, I have to believe him because if I didn't trust him, I wouldn't even be here with him. There's no relationship without trust. So the fact that I'm still with him shows that I do trust him. And the sisters are looking at her like, oh my God, you poor thing. You are so brainwashed. So they think that she's completely brainwashed by Sarper. They think that Sarper is a womanizing misogynist. Yeah, the meeting was terrible. The meeting did not go well at all. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this is part of production's plot to keep things interesting or if this is how it really went down, because it just made no sense to me how Shakina would not have sat down with Sarper and told him, look, even though me and you believe in this lifestyle where I serve you and I'm obedient to you, that's our own little thing. That's our little secret. Okay, but don't go broadcasting it to my family that that's how we are. Let my family know, tell them that I'm independent. I think for myself. I speak for myself. I don't serve you hand and foot. In fact, you serve me. Okay, why didn't you sit down and rehearse things with Sarper? Unless she did and Sarper just decided to go buck wild. I don't know what the hell that whole meeting was about, but it was bad. Moving on to Mina and Mark. So Mina does meet with Mark's ex-girlfriend, Jade. And the first thing that Mina broke up, first of all, Jade, very attractive woman. She seemed a lot younger than Mina. Okay? I think Mina's about in her mid 30s. This woman looked to be like late 20s, early 30s. I don't know. I could be wrong. So the first thing that Mina brings up at the meeting is who broke up with who, because Diana had told Mina that no, Mark, sorry, it had nothing to do with Diana. Mark had told Mina that he broke up with Jade. And Jade was like, no, that's not true. I broke up with Mark because he wanted to move to Boston and I didn't want to move to Boston. So I broke off the relationship. So then Jade also believes that she was the one that got away, which is weird because she talked about how much Mark cheated on her, or he was communicating with other women. He was making plans to see other women, planning dates with other women. This is what she saw on his phone. So you're the one that got away, meaning that you're the one that he really, really wanted to be with, but it didn't work out. But he was cheating on you the whole time. So how were you the one that got away if he was busy trying to get with other women? Like, I don't understand it. So Jay confirms that her and Mark were broken up when he met Mina, because Diana had hinted at the fact that Mark was still talking to Jade when he met Mina, that the relationships were overlapping. And Jade was like, no, that's not true. Once he met you, me and her were completely done. Jade tells her that she herself is completely done with Mark, that she has no interest in getting back with Mark at all, and that she is not a threat to their relationship whatsoever, and that she also believes that Mark doesn't want to get back with her. She says something like, well, he might check up on me, like he might text me to see how I'm doing or might check up on me, But then she also said he did this before he met Mina, like after they broke up, but before he met Mina, he would check up on her. So I don't know if she meant that he's still doing that now or that was something that he did even after they broke up. But she was like, she made it very clear, I have no interest in him and he doesn't have any interest in me. Jay talks about, okay, she talks about how Mark was cheating on her, but like I said, she's the one that, she says she's the one that got away, but he was cheating on her. Jade says that Mark's mom is really too involved in his relationships and that the family is a lot to handle. Like if the family decides that they don't like you, I guess if one person in the family decides that they don't like you, then the whole family doesn't like you. So you have to contend with that. You have to be prepared to deal with that because they're a lot to handle. So the meeting ended well. I think that Mina was satisfied with the information that she got from Jade. She even invited Jade to her wedding. She goes home to Mark and she tells Mark about the meeting. And she tells Mark that, one of the things that me and her totally agreed on was the fact that your family and your mom and all of that, they should not be that involved in your relationship. Okay. As a woman, when you're with a man, you want to be with that man. You don't want his whole entire family overly invested in all the little details of the minutia of your relationship. Every time you have a fight, they've got something to say about it. So Mark tells her, I hear you, I understand, and I'm going to work on it. We'll see if he does, because that family is very, very strong as far as like what they believe they should be doing in Mark's relationship. So let's see if they're going to let go. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. I don't think they're going to back off at all because they want to protect their asset. Okay, Mark is probably one of their biggest assets in that family, and they want to protect the money. They want to make sure that the money does not leave the family and it doesn't go, to his little fly-by-night relationships. So they're going to stay involved, especially that daughter of his. She's going to be all over that relationship. Moving on to Marty and Stevie. Not much happened with Marty and Stevie. Marty took Stevie to like a little weekend getaway. And while they were there, he took her to the beach and he had everything all nice and pretty laid out on the beach and with a sign that said, marry me. And he got down on one knee, even though he felt really uncomfortable doing that because he says, I guess in his culture, men do not propose that way by getting down on one knee. And he was like, everything in my body was telling me not to do it, but I went ahead and did it to make her happy. So he got down on one knee. He proposed to her. She said yes. And, that's about it. Stevie, what more do you want from this man? He's proposed to you twice. The second proposal is more to your liking because Marty said that Stevie was sending him videos of proposals of men proposing to women. I guess giving him an idea of how she wanted to be proposed to again. I don't know. I didn't understand that part. So, like, girl, what more do you want? He's proposing to you the way that you want to be proposed to. He loved his family, he loved his country, he loved his culture for you. He's got to live in this really small town. What more do you want from this man? Stop thinking that he's going to run off to Iran. Okay, stop thinking that because while they were driving to the little getaway, he made a joke about going back to Iran. What was the joke? I think wherever they were going, she didn't know where they were headed. She had no idea where they were going. And she said something like, if you take me out of the state, I'm just going to leave you there or something like that. And he says to her, he was just joking. He says, well, if you leave me behind, I'm just going to go back to Iran. Her whole entire mood changed. She was just like, well, I don't know if I can be in this relationship with you if you're not about being with me forever. It's like, girl, it was just a joke. Relax. Anywho, that's my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.